everyone, it's Sharana from Payroll Waits, and today I'm going to be reviewing and recapping The Penguin, episode 3, Bliss. We get more backstory on Victor. We see that he got a little boo thing, Graciela, who was the person that was texting him in last week's episode asking like, hey, where are you? We've been looking for you. And so we see that Victor did have a loving family. He had a mom and a dad and a sister. And so he brought some parts back for his father, and he was just like, hey, like, you should be getting more money. Like, you should ask for more. Like, don't you want more out of this life? And I was like, wow, like, you doing a lot big with your daddy right now. And so he was just like, you know where we came from, and like, we have more than enough right now as well. And so his sister tells him like, hey, leave it alone, let it be. Cause I was just like, no, that's my own trauma that I'm speaking from. But I just thought like his dad was finna get on him. And so his dad tells him, cause Vic's like, hey, I'm finna go hang out with my friends. And he was like, I don't want you hanging out with Calvin. But he was just like, hey, like there's nothing wrong with Calvin. And he was like, but Calvin's cousin is a problem. And they mess in drugs. They just have a lot of mess going on. And I just don't want you around that. But he says that he's going to leave anyway. His mom tried to say something to him. Did he let the door slam? I said, I know you're not slamming no doors in nobody's house that you're not paying for. And then you gonna slam the door when your mama was still talking to you? Like, that didn't sit well in my spirit, y'all. It didn't sit well in my spirit how he did his mama. So he goes to hang out with Graciela. And then, of course, Calvin's little raggedy cousins come around. And then even his girlfriend's like, I don't like them. And he doesn't like them either. So they kind of just do their own little thing. And as they are on the rooftop, he kind of sees, you know, his family's place. But we see the explosions go off from the events that happen in the Batman. And we see this flood of water rush in. And then he looks over to his house and he literally watches his family basically perish and drown under all of the water. And so we understand what he was running from and how he doesn't have any family anymore. And then we hear from conversations between him and Graciela throughout this episode that she lost her family too. So he is still working for Oz, and Oz tells him like, hey, Sofia's coming up, but he gets a phone call from Sal. So he's like, I need you to distract her. So figure out what you need to do to keep her occupied, but I need to take this phone call from Sal. So he's very nervous, to say the least. And I was kind of shocked that he let the door ring let her knock as many times as she did on the door before he actually went to go answer it. But he was very nervous with Sofia. He started stuttering again, and then she's kind of like, who are you? Like, where did he find you? And he was like, I was a mechanic and I worked on his car. And she was like, you're a mechanic that doesn't know how to work a lighter? And he was like, maybe it's broke. And then she just uses it effortlessly. So it's so cute because like how nervous he is. And then she kind of tries to break the ice with him, and she says, well, you know that Oz used to be my driver. So we're also getting more insight into what their relationship was between Oz and Sofia, because you can tell that there's a history there, but you could also tell that there's bad blood there. And we delve a little bit deeper to that in the episode, but I kind of want to finish up on Vic first. So Sofia tells him that, hey, we don't need you tonight. You know, Oz is going to drive me just like old times. And we kind of hear these like things of Sofia trying to put Sofia trying to put Oz back into his place. You know, she feels like Oz just continues to want more and more and more, and he'll do anything to like grasp, you know, whatever power he can. And so she tells him to just stay there. I like how Vic tells him before he leaves, like, if you do anything crazy, I'll sense it. But of course, this dude just don't listen. He calls Graciela. He tells her where he is, invites him over. And I was just like, how you invite somebody to somebody else's place? Like, that don't even make sense to me. So they're talking and, you know, picking up, like, you know, there are two people who are dating, who were in love. And he tries to kiss her, and then she tells him like, hey, like, I'm going to California. There's nothing here for me anymore. We don't have any family. Like, I need a new life. And so she tells him like, I'm leaving tomorrow night. You're more than welcome to come with me. But he tells her like, hey, I just don't think I would be able to leave my boss and my job. And she was like, well, if it's just a job, like, how your boss gonna tell you where you can and where you can't go? And I was like, Graciela asking all the right questions, because it just didn't make any sense to me either. And so he just says like, you know, I'm gonna go with you. You know, I just need to talk to my boss first, to buy him some more time before he can have that conversation with Graciela. So she ends up asking him about Calvin, who we know is gone, but he lies and says that he has no idea where Calvin actually is. And so we see that at the end of the episode, he does go to see Graciela, but he decides that he wants to stay with Oz, that he wants to make something better of himself. So he decides to stay. He lets Graciela go to California, which honestly, now that he's involved with Oz in the first place, like, it's probably for the best. Like, you don't want to put her in harm's way, let her go live her life. And maybe, you know, if things work out and you come up in the world, maybe you can go find her in California. But this episode is titled Bliss, and we finally understand what Bliss is. We understand what this plan of this new drug that Alberto told Oz in the first episode, that it was actually Sofia's plan. So Sofia is constantly being basically underestimated every single step of the way. So she takes Oz to the place where they're making the new drug, and then he realizes that, you know, he sees a lot of bags are going to Arkham, and he's kind of just like, girl, like, what's going on? Because this doesn't make sense right now. And that's when he kind of makes the connection that this wasn't Alberto's plan, this was her plan. So she introduces him to Trey Bloom, the chemist, who is responsible for making the drug. And we see that there is this type of fungi, this red fungi that is growing on top of the mushrooms. So he's not impressed at first, because he was just like, baby, people been doing shrooms since the beginning of time, honey. This don't make no sense to me, and I hope this ain't the plan that you was talking about, because you gassed me up for no reason, Sofia. But she says, hey, this is not shrooms. It's a little bit deeper than that. And so she says that there's a bleeding tooth, there's a fungi, which is a rare strain of a psychoactive compound that is released through the sap, which creates like this euphoric stimulant that basically gives people a different high, bliss, which we see that Oz comes up so eloquently, like off the top of his head. You know, Sophia's like impressed sometimes. Even she's impressed by like, this dude just be going off the cuff. Like he told Vic, you gotta be quick. You gotta be on your feet. You gotta make sure you keep moving, that you're 10 steps ahead. And that's what he always is. So she's like, at times she's impressed, but she's just like, I still don't trust this man. So she tells him that the reason that she brought him into this is because she needs to help him find a distributor, because of course, if she makes any moves, Luca, her uncle, is going to find out about it, and they probably going to kill her. So because she's a part of the Falcone family, it's just, people are going to rat her out. They're going to snitch on her, and then she's going to be in a life worse than Arkham. She's going to be dead. Okay. So, as Victor's watching, so basically, Oz comes in with this idea to go to the Triads. So there's beef between the Falcone family and the Triads because they pushed them out to Chinatown, and, you know, there's just bad blood. So they already don't do business, but they need to figure out a way to make this relationship work, because they're the only people in town that wouldn't rat them out, because they have no established relationship with the Falcone family because of the past history that they have. So he sets up a meeting with the Triads, and basically they was finna kill him because he just be on everybody money. I don't understand it. But he tells them that, hey, I want to cut you guys in on this new drug. It's going to change the game. It's going to make you a lot of money. And so basically they agree that if Johnny Vitti, who they just made up and said that he was on board with this whole coup of her trying to take her uncle out, and she just went with it, they basically say if they can get him to agree and let them know on the phone to the leader of the Triads that, hey, I'm in on this, we're good to go, then they will take a meeting with her to discuss Bliss. All right. Now, in the midst of all of this, she doesn't tell them that like Vitti basically threatened her life. He hands her this ticket to Rome, and he was just like, baby, if he tells you to go to Rome, then baby, you need to take your behind to Rome. And if not, I'm going to let them know that you're already there. Basically insinuating that he's going to have her killed. And I was like, wow, like you doing a lot for somebody that be smashing the boss's wife. Like you just be moving like ain't nobody got nothing on you. It's just crazy out here. But while all of this is going down, Victor is sitting in this car, not paying attention, just be in his own little world in La La Land. He sees the cop pulls up behind him. He got all this drugs in his front seat. The guy pulls up, he tells him to get out of the car. And I'm like, first of all, I need Oz to get rid of this bright purple Maserati. It's just screaming, I am up to no good. I am doing illegal things. Please come and arrest me. That's basically what his car is giving. I don't understand why that's the car that somebody who lives the life that he lives is doing. I mean, I guess I understand because he's always trying to overcompensate. He wants people to take him serious. He's always, even in his apartment, all this stuff, she was like, all this stuff is tacky. And it was just like, that's Oz. He's always trying to be larger than life, trying to make it seem like he's living the life that he wants to live. But yeah, so Vic thinks quick on his feet because the guy asks him, like, why do you have all this money in your pocket? Because, you know, I said that he would start paying him $1,000 a week. And then he was like, I don't know, I ain't got no money in my pocket. What you talking about? And he kind of looked and he's like, oh, okay, go ahead, do your thing. So he ends up letting him go. But they come up with a plan in order to try to figure out how they're going to get Vidi to tell the Triads that he's in on this. So we see that Oz takes Vic to lunch. And so Vic is telling him what happened. And he seems really proud of him. And I love the relationship between Oz and Vic because Oz really needs a friend. And I think he sees Vic as this son to him. And he feels like he can help him get to like where he was. He's all about, you know, people who come from nothing, people who are constantly underestimated or never seen by the world, and being able to create a life for themselves. So I like how when they're ordering, he's trying to order the steak frites. Basically, he like yells at the waiter for like trying to like say what he wanted to say. And then he tells him like, you didn't have to do that. And he was like, no, like you need to start being seen. Like you need to stand up for yourself. You need to make sure you correct people. Like you need to start having a voice. It's the only way you're going to survive out here. So we see that the lunch wasn't just to have lunch. He goes to find Tina, Luca's wife. And basically he tells Tina that, you know, she needs to help him with this setup, okay? So they basically catch them, Sofia and Oz, they rock in on Luca's wife, Tina, having sex with John Vidi. And so basically they tell him, hey, we need you to do this. And he was just like, first of all, both of y'all crazy. I'm trying to figure out why you would go into business with someone who was just institutionalized just a few years ago. And then he looking at her and why you want to go in business with someone who was part of the reason why you got institutionalized because he ratted you out. Haven't made sense for me. So he tells Oz that like everyone looks at you like you're a joke. You're the entertainment because no one takes you seriously. And then basically that was a little bit too much for Oz. And he like rammed that phone so deep down his mouth that the screen broke. And he told him, you need to make the call. So he makes the call, they get the meeting, and so they go to the club, and Oz has Eve bring her girls there because they're going to be the ones talking to everyone in the club, trying to get them to buy this thing, Bliss. Vic is the bag man, and it's funny because throughout this episode, Sofia is constantly trying to put Oz back into his place. You see this when she tells Vic to stay home and Oz is going to drive her just like old times. She continuously says in a meeting with the Triads, like, you know, he works for me. This is my idea. This is my business. She tries to reiterate that even like with the meeting with the Triads. I like how she holds her own with the head of the Triads. You know, she shows that she does her research too. You know, he tells her that he has a room for pause because she was institutionalized. And, you know, he doesn't know if he would really want to get in business with someone like that. And so she explains that the reason why she knows that this drug is good because this is the drug that they give their patients at Arkham, which is why you saw all of the bags going because they're testing with different subjects. And so she shows them the people in the club and that this is a group of people. This is a right clientele because everyone has lost everything. You know, everyone's dealing with the FEMA assistance. People have lost their families. They lost their homes. They lost their sense of livelihood. And so people are depressed. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. And so there's ever a time for people to want to forget things, for people to want to have this euphoric feeling that everything is going to be all right, is going to be this moment. And so she leaves them with that and she walks away and she tells Oz, like, whatever, you can do whatever you want, but if he doesn't want to get on this, that's basically his loss. So he ends up agreeing to do this. And in the midst of all of this happening, Vic has a panic attack. So he drops the Bliss on the ground. It kind of takes him back to the night where all of the explosions happen, and he's having a panic attack. You know, he's back where all of this happened. So thank goodness that one of the girls helped, because at first I thought when she asked him to dance that she was going to try to steal the drugs and run off with the stuff. And I just thought that, you know, I was going to kill him, but I was happy that she just told him, like, get your ish together. He goes to the bathroom to get himself together, and then Oz comes in. He's happy. It's like he wanted to go tell his bestie what happened, right? So he tells him, like, hey, we got it. We about to be making a whole bunch of money. We finna be on the up and up. And then he sees Vic, like, look at his phone. And he snatches it real quick. And he sees the messages between Vic and Graciela. And he was like, are you trying to leave? You trying to leave with this stuff? And he was like, bro, what am I trying to leave with this mess? I was trying to leave so I could go have a better life. And so he does get upset. And I do feel like he has a right to be upset, because he was just like, So you thought I was like holding you hostage this whole time? Like, I was trying to give you a better life. I was trying to take you under my wing, trying to help you have what you didn't have before, but like, you don't even understand that. So he pulls the gun on him like, this is me like holding you hostage, okay? So do you feel the difference? And so he's being really hard on him. He's like, this world doesn't care about you. They don't care about you. They don't care about your family, nothing. And he was just so angry that, you know, he basically said some things to push him away. You know, Vic leaves and then he takes his car. I said, now how you gonna leave and take his car? Are you trying to not make it to next week's episode? So he goes to the bus station and he sees Graciela. He decides to come back. And that's good news because as Oz is going to tell Sofia the good news, Nadia pulls up Sal's wife and basically they got them at gunpoint. Vic comes and he hits one of the men and then he gets in the car. But before all of this happened, I just want y'all to know that Oz is apologizing to Sofia. He says, yes, girl, I ratted you out. I didn't think your daddy was going to put you in an institution. I just thought you was going to get a slap on the wrist. I didn't know all of that was going to happen. But he was like, you meant a lot to me and I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, like, because she was like, you did all of that. Was it worth it to just have this life? Because it's nothing to her what he's doing. Once again, people underestimating Oz. And he was just like, yes, it was worth it. Like, look at all that I have now. I had nothing before. And now I had all of this, the club, this, that. Yes, it was worth it. It might not be a lot to you, but it means something to me. I made something of myself. And that's what he's so big about, is that no one took him seriously. And so he did what needed to be done to get a bigger piece of the pie. And so you see when she was like, even throughout the episode, she's like, I don't know if you wanted more or if I wanted more. And I think that he probably wants it more than her. I think he has a lot more to prove than Sofia does, because she did come from a wealthy family. But she tells him, like, I just don't know how to trust you. And it's interesting that they have this conversation because he's like, you meant a lot to me. And then when Vic comes and he jumps in the car, like, let's go. He's like, what about Sofia? He was like, F her, leave. And I was like, sir, we just talked about this. We just talked about this, Eyes. Haven't make sense for me. So I don't know what's going to happen now because they're in business with the Triads, but he just left Sofia to die. So I don't know what's going to happen, how Sofia is going to react to that, how he is going to lie his way out of it. All right. But I know Victor like, damn, did I make the wrong choice? I'm up here bleeding. I got into an accident now. I done lost my boo thing forever. Did I make the right decision? All right. But I think one of the most interesting things for me, and the thing that I like the most, is watching the relationship between Vic and Oz. To see this kind of father figure, mentor, mentee relationship happening. And I think it's even more interesting to see the relationship unfold between Sofia and Oz. I like that while there's stuff happening and they're like trying to introduce this drug and trying to go into business with all these different drug families, I like that it's a lot of relationship drama. It's a lot of backstory and things that we're still finding out. And that's why I still find The Penguin to be one of the most interesting shows that I'm watching right now. So yeah, those are just my quick thoughts. I really enjoyed it. I like getting more into Victor's backstory. I like that we get to learn more about the relationship between Sal and Sofia. And she said something like, I'm not the hangman, like almost like he made that up. So I want more info kind of on that. Should we be afraid of Sofia? Should we not be afraid of Sofia? Is she kind of just using this hangman aura to like get people to fear her so she can do what needs to be done? I thought it was really interesting that she said that to him. So I can't wait to explore their dynamic as well, and even more about like what was her experience while she was on Bliss. But yeah, I still like the episode. Like, what I'm still digging Penguin right now. Let me know in the comment section below. Did you like this week's episode? How are you feeling about the series so far now that we're 3 episodes in? Let me know in the comment section below. But those are my thoughts on The Penguin episode 3 Bliss. As always, my name is Sharana from Pay Your Weights. And if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. And until I see you again, bye.